Hello all and welcome, and I am the MGTOW Philosopher. This will be my second video about women in combat and the women who supposedly passed the Ranger School. I've come across some new information that I would like you to hear about in regards to this story. U.S. Defense Watch has obtained new information concerning special training for female soldiers in preparation for attendance to the U.S. Army's Ranger School. In the fall of 2014, at Fort Carson, Colorado, a group of female soldiers were given 3 months of special training to specifically prepare them for Ranger School. This was far more than I had currently reported and known about. The female soldiers were pulled away from their regular duties in the Army to eat, breathe, and sleep Ranger School for 90 days. One of the female soldiers who attended the training was First Lieutenant Shay Haver, who, along with Captain Kristen Greist, became the first two women to ever graduate from the school, the U.S. Army's toughest training program. Yet the Army's senior leaders, from Secretary John McHugh down to General Martin Dempsey, Major General Scott Miller, Commander of Fort Benning, and Colonel David Fivecoat, Commander of the Airborne and Ranger Training Brigade, repeatedly denied that women were given any type of special treatment or advanced preparation for Ranger School, even though we know that is a complete and utter lie. In addition, First Lieutenant Haver consistently failed land navigation during various assessments conducted at Fort Benning. That means she can't use a compass or a map. Yet Haver was sent to Fort Benning to attend Ranger School. Even more frightening is the fact that not one female soldier in the assessment group of roughly 50 soldiers passed land navigation. Holy shit! Out of 50 women couldn't use a map and a compass. It is not known if other female soldiers were sent to Fort Benning from this group. Sources also informed U.S. Defense Watch that the First Lieutenant Haver failed land navigation at the Ranger Training Assessment Course, a 16-day evaluation soldiers must pass before being allowed to start the school itself. She still couldn't read a map at this point. Haver graduated from Ranger School in August of 2015 after being recycled twice and having to restart the whole course on one occasion, even after 3 months of training and special preparation and special dieting. Did Haver also fail land navigation repeatedly at Ranger School? We know she failed it when she was training and in the preparation, but did she fail it at Ranger School? Undoubtedly. This would appear in her records, which were shredded by the Army, but her green card, a Ranger School transcript of her progress, wasn't. Surely Haver's land navigation scores are noted on her green card. Yet the Army refuses to supply Congress with any of these Ranger females' green cards because, of course, this would show that they had cheated, that they had given the women special treatment, and they don't want the American public to know about that. The Army refuses to send Congressman Steve Russell and the House Armed Services Committee the green cards for Haver, Greist, and Major Lisa Jaster, the 37-year-old woman who graduated from the school as well. As of now, the only thing Congressman Russell has received from the Army is some concocted mini white paper showing that men and women are performing the same at Fort Benning and that women are meeting the standards. This is all a lie. Standards, more like double standards. U.S. Defense Watch has also learned that Major Jaster has recycled 3 times at Ranger School and failed all 3 phases and had to repeat them. Boy, that's the best of the best, all right. And she's taking the place of a man, consequently, who might actually be able to pass the first time and who hasn't been introduced to the course for months and months and months beforehand and given all the answers to the fucking questions, which is cheating. Normally, candidates are only allowed 2 recycles before they return to their units. As USDW has indicated on numerous occasions, it is highly probable that a cover-up is underway in the Army to placate a political agenda from the White House. The Obama administration wants women in combat, even if it means double standards, lies, cover-ups, and more importantly, a threat to the nation's national security. Oh, but that's not important because the U.S. military is just a bunch of machines. It's automated and we're just flying drones around, right? We won't ever need troops on the ground in enemy territory, now will we? Apparently, Secretary of Defense Ash Carter made much of his decision to authorize women in combat from the apparent performance of females at Ranger School. Of course, he has been fed lies. His decision was obviously predicated on lies perpetrated by the Army. Yes, of course they were perpetrated by the Army, these lies. The fact that First Lieutenant Haver failed land navigation, that she cannot use a map and a compass, but was sent to Ranger School anyway, is a disgrace and frankly a danger to the very soldiers she would lead in combat. A Ranger who can't read a map and use a compass is about as useful as a chef who can't cook. Amen to that. It is more than apparent that the Army has been trying to foist a scam on the American people and has been lying to the nation it was sworn to defend. It is more than apparent that the Army is putting us all in danger by allowing unqualified individuals to pass Ranger School. It is more than apparent that the Army's senior leaders are thinking more about their own careers than about the troops and the country they serve. It is more than apparent that this story will not go away until the senior leaders of the Army testify before the House Armed Services Committee concerning the Army's continual obfuscation and suppression of vital records vital to the national security of our nation. So, a little bit more on a story that is an old story, but new facts continue to pop up, and yet they are not covered by the mainstream media. Big surprise there. I will continue to talk more about this and other issues that affect men and women. I am the MGTOW Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.